Hello, my name is Russell Baldridge. I'm here with the Agile Journal at Software Quality Engineering's Better Software Agile Development Practices West. People are taking a hybrid approach to everything these days, from ALM to Agile, even to this conference.
This is a really great conference for us. It's the first time we've had a co-joined conference where we have Better Software and Agile at the same location. Really nice for attendees because they don't have to make a decision, do I want this track or the other? They can cross tracks anytime they want. The other new thing about this conference is we've got a hybrid conference with CMC where we're broadcasting live our keynotes online for a very large audience. At the same time, we have the live audience here.
This year, Agile Practice West was streamed real-time to over 2,000 live online viewers during the show. This hybrid show was truly an Agile event, showcasing Agile adoption and how software developers are combining methodologies for improved development.
Historically, software development has been a very gated process, and so that's kind of the legacy, that's the inertia that exists inside of a lot of organizations. And Agile, one of the intent or one of the kind of conceptual underpinnings of Agile is around integration across the entire software development lifecycle, so that you're not having to worry about is something happening in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. It's all happening at the same time, so that my project managers are working with my product managers, or working with my development team, or working with my QA folks, or working with my executives. And we've always had that view that Agile will be headed down that path. And essentially, we're kind of 10 years into it, and we feel like there's another 10 years to go. It's not the most simple process in the world it's a very simple conceptual process to understand. It's not very easy to adopt. And getting all of those teams kind of operating in unison is probably one of the most fundamental challenges that you'll see inside of an overall Agile adoption.
I actually think what you need is like this top-down vision and a bottom-up implementation. And what I'm starting to see is that people are starting to recognize the value of like Kanban at the team, managing your work in progress. But what you see is the mindset of Agile for many people has stayed the same. It's still a team-centric, and they can't deny the value of lean thinking, they can't deny the value of work in progress. So what they're taking is a bottom-up approach and incorporating lean thinking inside the bottom-up approach. That's considerably different than having the vision of lean in the entire system and incorporating team process into the bigger picture. So that's the concern is to people who don't really understand the issues in detail of lean and agile and Kanban and Scrum. If you don't understand all those and you go to a consultancy who really only looks at it one way or comes from a bottom up and puts lean principles in, there could be some confusion because they hear all the terms, they see all the lean practices and they say, oh, this is great. But what you want to do is make sure that the mindset you come from is really one of looking at the entire enterprise at the same time respecting the team's ability to come up with their own process.
Very few customers are doing Agile in a pure fashion. They're typically incorporating Agile into a hybrid type environment where you're doing a mix of both Agile and non-Agile projects, and you may be doing those even within the same enterprise release. So it's very important for our customers are telling us that they really need tools that will allow them to manage both Agile and non-Agile projects using the same tool, because otherwise if you've got point products that do Agile only and some that do non-Agile only, you're having to manually aggregate the metrics across those two platforms. It just makes it that much more difficult for them to manage their software development environments.
So when it comes to Agile, there's not one specific methodology of Agile that we adopt to, so whether you're doing Scrum, Lean, XP, doesn't matter. Even if you're doing waterfall development, the same practices apply.
Whether you're using Agile or you're doing CMMI, you're developing software. And you want to pick the Agile, seems to work very well with certain types of projects. Go for it, use it. Use what makes sense, but don't be married to a methodology. It's your product you want to get out.
Lean and Agile are philosophically almost identical. The difference is Agile really came out of the developer community, and Lean takes more of a cross-enterprise aspect. And in the larger organizations, for either to flourish, it really does have to have an underpinning of Lean. So in my mind, there's not a lot of difference other than scope between Lean and Agile. Lean is a little bit more enterprise focused, a little more end-to-end focused, and this idea of business value goes right from the beginning of demand generation to fulfillment with the customer. Traditional Agile was more focused on the implementation by the development team. But fundamentally, the values behind them are identical.
So now how do you scale it to the enterprise? That's where the problems are. So if you think about some of the challenges that come right at the top of my head are, number one, we are working with a lot of distributed teams these days. So how do you make sure they're all on the same page? How do you make sure that there's a lot of collaboration amongst the teams that are globally dispersed? Not only that, how do we make sure that the developers all the way across the entire organization know what they're building, why are they building that, how are they going to build, and when is that due, right? So all of those things are challenging when you scale Agile to the enterprise. So I think that's what companies need to do, is figure out a system, figure out a way that they can scale across the enterprise.
That's probably one of the biggest challenges that we see. I mentioned the education, but also kind of the internal change management component. And that has been where a lot of effort has been expended in large organizations today, and I think you'll see where that continues to be the case. As Agile scales, it exposes how difficult scaling anything really is. It's not Agile, it's whether you're talking CRM, ERP, Agile, whatever you're talking about in terms of introducing a new process into the fray, it's hard. And so I think that will be where we continue to see a heck of a lot of challenge in Agile over the next couple of years.
So if you want to be an Agile organization, you've got to do more than just train your development team. You've got to train your business customers, you've got to train your business analysts, you've got to train your project managers to work within the Agile methodology.
The heart of Agile is agility, right? At the end of the day, it's about agility. It's not becoming more rigid by adopting this is one methodology and that's all I'm going to do. And if you're doing that, you're going to make yourself a lot inflexible, which goes against Agile. So think about the word agility when you think about Agile, and the answer will come to you. I think that the idea is to make sure that you have the right methodology that works for you, right? And it can be a hybrid of methodologies. It can be Scrum, it can be Extreme, it can be Lean, it can be whatever. But make sure that you have the right methodology that fits with your culture and that fits with your projects and for your products.
And yet we're binary people. We like it to be black and white. I mean, I'm just kidding, but Don Reinertsen, one of my heroes in the industry, made that comment. He says, developers are like, it's either this or that. And the answer is no, it's not. It's a little more complicated.